glad you liked it. Want me to tweak anything or add more hype? Right now, at this exact moment, your future self is watching you. Not literally, but in a way that matters even more, through the choices you make today. Think about it. Every action you take is like a vote for the person you're becoming. You wake up early and push yourself, that's a vote for the successful version of you. You waste hours scrolling, making excuses, and putting things off, that's a vote for the version of you who stays stuck. Most people don't realize how much power they have over their own future. They think success is something that just happens to lucky people. That's a lie. Success is built in the small moments, in the daily habits, in the decisions nobody else sees. One year, 5 years, 10 years from now is waiting. They're hoping for the best in the air. The future version of you is waiting. The future version of you is waiting. The future version, imagine meeting them. Would they be proud? Would they be grateful for the work you put in? Or would they be disappointed, wishing you had tried harder, wishing you had taken things seriously when you had the chance? Every second, every day, you are writing your own story. And the truth is, time is passing whether you use it or waste it. Think about all the people who started working on their goals last year. Some of them stayed consistent, fought through doubt, and pushed forward. Now they're in a completely different place, stronger, wiser, closer to their dreams. Others, they said, I'll start tomorrow. They said, I'll wait until I feel ready. Now, a whole year later, they're in the exact same spot, wishing they had started. The difference? One group made decisions with their future self in mind. The other didn't. And here's the crazy part. Your future self isn't built on one big moment. It's not about one huge decision. It's about the small ones, the ones you make every single day. When the alarm goes off, do you get up or hit snooze? When an opportunity comes, do you take action or hesitate? When things get hard, do you push through or give up? It's easy to think these little choices don't matter, but they do. They add up. Every single one is shaping who you're becoming. And whether you like it or not, you're either moving forward or staying stuck. There's no in between. Do you want me to keep expanding or add more hype? Let me know. Success isn't magic. It isn't luck. It isn't reserved for the most talented, the smartest, or the people who were born with it. The real secret? Consistency. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the reason why some people transform their lives while others stay stuck in the same cycle year after year. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. You don't need motivation. Motivation is a temporary feeling. It comes and goes. If you rely on motivation, you'll always be inconsistent. You'll only work hard when you feel like it. And guess what? That's why most people fail. But discipline, showing up every single day no matter how you feel, that's the cheat code. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the best artists, creators, and innovators. Do you think they woke up every day feeling motivated? No, but they showed up anyway because they understood one thing. Success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. If you want to master anything, you don't do it once. You do it over and over again until it becomes second nature. Want to get fit? You don't hit the gym once and expect results. You train, even on the days you don't feel like it. Want to be successful? You don't work hard for a week and then take a break. You keep pushing, even when it's uncomfortable. Want to build a life of freedom? You don't start and stop whenever it's convenient. You stay committed even when nobody is watching. Most people quit when it gets hard. They start something new, get excited for a few weeks, and then stop the moment it feels like work. Then they start something else, and another thing, and another, always chasing that feeling of excitement, but never sticking around long enough to see real results. And here's what they don't realize. The real breakthroughs happen after the excitement fades. It's when you're tired, when you're bored, when you don't feel like it, but you still show up. That's when you're leveling up. That's when you're building something unstoppable. Success isn't about going hard for a few days. It's about going steady for years. You don't need to be the best. You just need to keep going.
We are wired for story. From the moment we're born, we crave connection, and storytelling is the bridge that brings us together. It's how we make sense of the world, how we find meaning in our experiences, and how we remind each other that we are not alone. Think about the stories that have stayed with you, the ones that made you laugh, cry, or shift your perspective. They weren't just a collection of words. They were moments, emotions, truths that spoke to something deep inside of you. That's the power of storytelling. It bypasses logic and goes straight to the heart. But here's what's interesting. We don't just connect through the perfect, polished stories. We connect through the messy, the raw, the honest. The moments when we don't have it all together, when life surprises us in ways we never expected. For years, I believed that in order to be heard, I had to present myself a certain way, strong, put together, without flaws. I thought connection came from having the right words, the perfect delivery. But the truth is, real connection doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity. It comes from standing in front of someone and saying, "This is me, the real me." And the best stories, they aren't about proving anything. They aren't about making ourselves look better or stronger or more successful. The best stories are the ones that make people feel something, the ones that say, "Me too." Because storytelling is an invitation. It's a hand reaching out, saying, "I've been there." It's a reminder that even in our struggles, even in our doubts and fears, we are not alone. We live in a world that often values information over connection. We rush through conversations, we skim headlines, we post pictures with captions that fit neatly into a character limit. But real storytelling, it asks us to slow down. It asks us to listen. It asks us to be present. And that's not always easy. Sharing our stories requires courage. It requires us to be seen, to risk judgment, to open up in ways that might feel uncomfortable. But every time we do, we create space for someone else to do the same. I've seen it happen over and over again. One person shares a story about failure, about love, about loss, and suddenly the room shifts. People lean in, walls come down, not because the story was perfect, but because it was true. Because it was real. And that's the magic of storytelling. It doesn't just inform us, it transforms us. It reminds us of our humanity. It takes the weight of shame off our shoulders. It helps us heal. We don't have to have extraordinary lives to tell powerful stories. The ordinary is enough. The everyday moments, the ones we think no one would care about, are the ones that bring us together. And here's the most beautiful part. When we tell our stories, we give others permission to do the same. We create a world where people feel safe enough to be themselves, where vulnerability isn't weakness but strength, where connection isn't something we have to fight for, it's something we simply allow. So tell your story, even if your voice shakes, even if you're not sure how it will be received, even if you think no one is listening, because someone is. And your story, your real, unfiltered, imperfect story, just might be exactly what they need. We live in a world that is constantly pulling us in 1,000 different directions. Our minds are busy, our calendars are packed, and our attention is scattered. We're always thinking about what's next, what needs to get done, what's coming up, what we should have said, what we need to say next. But in all of this rushing, all of this doing, we often miss the one thing that matters most: being here, right now. Presence is a rare thing, not just being physically in a space, but truly being there, fully engaged, fully aware, fully open. And yet when we experience real presence, we feel it. It changes things. It changes us. Think about a time when someone was completely present with you. Maybe it was a moment of deep conversation where they weren't checking their phone or looking around the room. They were just there, fully listening. Maybe it was a time when someone sat with you in silence, not trying to fix anything, not rushing to fill the space, just holding it for you. Those moments, however small, have the power to stay with us for a lifetime. Because presence is a gift, and in a world full of distractions, it's one of the most powerful things we can offer another human being. But here's the truth: presence is hard. It requires us to let go of control. It asks us to stop rehearsing the future or rewriting the past. It asks us to trust that this moment, right here, is enough. And that's not easy. We're wired to seek certainty. We cling to our to-do lists, our schedules, our plans, because they make us feel safe. But presence isn't about control. It's about surrender. It's about saying, I don't know what comes next, but I'm here for this moment fully. And something happens when we choose presence. We start to see things differently. The small moments, the ones we usually rush past, suddenly feel sacred. The way someone's eyes light up when they talk about something they love, the sound of laughter echoing in a room, the quiet stillness of the early morning before the world wakes up. Presence turns the ordinary into something extraordinary. It makes life richer, fuller, more meaningful. It allows us to connect not just with others, but with ourselves. Because the truth is, we can't be present for other people if we're not present in our own lives. If we're constantly numbing, avoiding, distracting ourselves, we miss it. We miss the beauty, the depth, the magic of what's right in front of us. And the most heartbreaking part, we don't realize what we've missed until it's gone. So how do we practice presence? How do we fight against the pull of distraction and choose this moment over the constant demands of everything else? We start small. We put down our phones and look into someone's eyes when they speak. We take a deep breath and notice the way the air feels on our skin. We listen, not just to respond, but to understand. We slow down even when the world tells us to keep moving. And the more we do it, the more we start to realize this is where life happens. Not in the future, not in the past, but here, because presence isn't about making big dramatic changes. It's about making a choice, a simple, quiet, intentional choice to be here, to notice, to engage, to open ourselves up to the magic that only exists in the now. And maybe, just maybe,